This period of competition led to a paradigm shift in bank regulation. Lawmakers and regulators became less worried about excessive bank risk-taking or monopolistic banks. They became more worried about banks closing down because they were unable to compete. Two major pieces of legislation modernized the commercial banking industry. Both were signed into law by President Bill Clinton. These deregulations were designed to help banks increase their efficiency by exploiting economies of scale and economies of scope. First came the Deregulation Act. This allowed banks to diversify geographically by operating across state borders. Nowadays, banks are free to expand their operations throughout the United States, say by acquiring another bank in another state. Unit banking is a thing of the past. Second, we have the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act. This law repealed the ban on investment banking found in the Glass-Steagall Act of 1933. Now, commercial banking, investment banking, and insurance underwriting could all be done under the same roof. This allows banks to diversify across product lines. Banks are in the business of information. Operating across multiple product lines might lower information costs. For example, if I know that you have a steady income stream arriving in your checking account, then I might be more willing to cut you a deal on your life insurance. Or, if you are a business that I have lent to in the past, then I might be well positioned to underwrite your next bond issue. This deregulation kicked off another round of consolidation and reorganization. This included a wave of mega mergers, creating some of the largest banks in the world. JP Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. Here is our chart showing the number of US banks one last time. By the end of the time series, we can see branched banks now dominate. Finally, here we see Bank of America's geographic footprint. This is in 2010. Each dot represents a bank branch. The largest banks now operate just about everywhere in the United States. Today, a handful of mega banks provide a broad array of financial services all under one roof. These institutions are organized as financial holding companies. They contain thousands of bank and non-bank subsidiaries. Here is JP Chase again. Its main activities include retail and commercial banking, investment banking. It also includes the functions of a securities firm, so broker-dealer activities. There's also asset management. JP Morgan runs a collection of mutual funds and hedge funds through its asset management arm. With this new organizational structure, modern banks have a greater emphasis on fee generation. Investment banks and securities firms earn fees from the services they provide. The 363 model of banking is a thing of the past. Let's wrap up. In this session, we have discussed banking from the early 20th century all the way through to the present day. Early banks were simple. They focused on deposit taking and lending, often in one physical location. Regulations were strict. Over time, new technology and competition from non-banks eroded the market position of our traditional banks. A wave of deregulation followed, designed to help our banks modernize. Banks were permitted to expand geographically and into new product markets. This gave rise to the financial holding company structure and the concentrated banking industry that we see today. Was there too much deregulation? Have some mega banks become too big to fail? The largest US banks were central to the 2008 financial crisis, which suggests that the answer might be yes. We will address this complex question and what regulators have done about it at another time.